Good evening. It's March 15th, Sunday. This is Joshua Donald E. Taylor, inventor of the GOSHEN Camps. Over the last 33 years, I put in over 7,000 hours of work designing different variations and designs of end-time refuges. And anyway, I pretty well spent the last 3 weeks. I put in well over 150 hours on this pad to get this trailer where it's at, to get my gardens in. So I've been going at it pretty well non-stop, and I'm at the place now where I can kind of, back up and get moved into this trailer. This is actually the first night that I'm in the trailer here, my fifth wheel. And it's been a cold, the last couple of days were extremely cold, below freezing at night. But I'm hoping to be able to set up a porch out here, get a wood stove, and get set up for the long term and have a little bit of food on hand. Because I got a feeling by April it's going to be hard to get any food. And we're in the country, so it means an hour drive to the city to Hope. But if what's happening in the States where the stores are being emptied out, we're going to see it up here in Canada. And I know some friends of mine emailed me from Red Deer, Alberta, and the Save on Foods and all that. Their shelves are empty, not just toilet paper and stuff like that, but commodities, right? But anyway, what I come to want to talk about tonight is the GOSHEN Camps. About a year ago, I started designing, and the Lord commissioned me on this, to design a expanding isometric-geometric design, like a like a layout that's actually expandable, where it starts from the center out, and I incorporate various techniques to make it work. So I like to use that as the blueprint, and to incorporate the ARCSHIPs. The ARCSHIP is just more of a long term. You could have RVs. RVs are not long term for the time that we're going into. And so these ARCSHIPs are going to be 100% sustainable, 100% off grid. It's just a matter of designing the features into the system. So what I would like to do is this week is spend time on the computer. And I want to draw up the actual layout for a full ARCSHIP camp, and get it out to you. And this will fit in with the expandable design that the Lord gave me. And at that point, there's enough information where I could actually send it to President Trump. And I'm praying that a door will open up to be able to start building these kingdom camps, these GOSHEN camps, outside various cities in the United States. And I know it's not going to happen now, but if I get the designs out, then at least you'll have something to look at, and I'll be able to break down the material costs once I actually do the final blueprints on the ARCSHIPs themselves. So right now I'm just doing the layout, right? Just the layout of the ARCSHIPs, and that fit into the expanding camp model. And so the third thing that I need to do is actually draw out the physical blueprints of the ARCSHIPs in order to get a material list. It gives me an idea how much they're going to weigh and what the cost of material is. So once you have that, then you have something to work from where you can start purchasing the material, right? And start getting your RVs together. You know, I know there's going to be a rush to get into place. But while we're waiting for this coronavirus to run its course, we're talking 2 or 3 months, right? You can be building. You can be putting your downtime, take your downtime and put it into uptime. But it's going to cost. It's going to cost money, right? So you Christian businessmen out there, you that have finances, you need to invest those finances into building kingdom camps for the remnant. You have the finances, pull your finances out of the bank, downsize, liquidate your assets. Because if you don't, just like what happened in 1929, you're going to wake up one day and your savings are going to be wiped out. So if I were you, I would start pulling out cash every day. Pull out some cash while you can. And start looking for deals on lumber, 100-watt solar panels, deep cell batteries. You that have fabrication shops, once these plans are completed here, you can start building the internal works of these ARCSHIP models. Holding tanks are going to have to be designed for water, for septic, and stuff like that. Filtering systems, because these are designed to go anywhere in the world where you could park it, and you're 100% off grid. And you can't do that with an RV. An RV, you're still attached to an extension cord. You're still attached to having to have a septic tank. You still need power to run an RV. It's only a temporary solution, right? And we're going into weather extremes. Like they don't make RVs unless you pay a lot of money for it and get a triple E. But this RV that I'm in now, it's not warm, right? You have to have 2 heaters going, but I know with these ARCSHIPs, you got 2 ARCSHIPs spaced about 8 feet apart, and you have a nice little wood stove in between, and your hot water tank, and things like that you're running off your auxiliary heat, and you can make it. It might be tight quarters. You might have 4 kids and sleeping in one room, and the front part of the ARCSHIP will have a place for the parents, so they can have their privacy. But people, I don't know how many of you have spent time in the Salvation Army, where you get 8-10 people sleeping in a room. It's going to be like that, right? But at least it'll keep families together, and that's what it's all about, right? So these ARCSHIP communities, it's actually be an H3 design, and like each, you got one spoke, you got another spoke, and another spoke like this. So off one spoke, that would give you access to 5 sets of living quarters, then 5 more here, then 5 more here. So you have enough camping for 15 families, and and they all connect to a center hub, a hexagonal hub. That's your porch where you go in and you go to your place, right? Just like a space station, and that in turn connects to a larger hub, and this can be all enclosed, where everybody comes together and eat, right? We have community dinners and things like that. So the food is being prepared by the women, and the men do the work, right? And the kids help, and But we're going to have to get on this. You know, I know next year we're not going to have the time. 2021, God's laying the axe to the root of the tree. And he wants his people to bring forth fruit, to manifest the love of God one for another, to come to the place where we learn to lay our lives down one for another. And we're coming into a time of super depression. You can't grow food in the city. So what I'm proposing is a very simple plan that the Father gave me, where the remnant can gather together in these places. They're far enough away from the city where they're not going to be hassled by the people, right? They come together, grow food, and there's technologies where you can take waste, easily convert it into fuel. Like my friend Don Tine, that I taught the Joe pipe technology to, talking to him yesterday. And he was saying, Josh, I just turned down a $10 million deal. He's got an energy patent from Russia. He's got another one from the United States. Another one from Eurasia, like the Asian nations. And somebody wanted to buy him out for 10 mil. But he knows it's worth much, much, much more than that. And so where he's going with this, he already has a method of being able to take diesel and extract 10 times the energy out of diesel. You see where I'm coming from? He's able to take the exhaust of any vehicle or a stove or whatever and capture the, before the CO2 becomes CO2, you can actually take the CO, which is carbon monoxide, and recirculate it in the system. That's why the system that is made is so efficient, and no emissions, right? But we're going to need fuel. So Don said, Josh, well, you're going to be working with me. I'm going to give you the skunk works, and at some time I'll be going down there to see him and to start developing technology for off-grid, for unlimited heat systems to heat RVs, cabins, or whatever. Being able to generate hot water for cheap. Septic disposal, right? He's running at 1,000 degrees centigrade. The fire pipes that he's using, the stainless steel, are actually going white. So he's really advanced it more than with what the Lord gave me initially. He saw the benefit, he took it, and he ran with it, and he did something with it. But the Lord gave me this technology for these end time places of refuge. And it's going to allow you to, if you're able to take waste and condense it down into diesel or alcohol, oils, things like that, you have a gold mine. People come to you and they exchange. You give them 5 gallons of fuel, maybe for big, like a silver dollar of gold, right? Or silver. Gold and silver are going to get you through in the short term, but it's not going to do you any good in the long term. And you people out there, you need to slowly pull your cash out. And when you go buy your groceries and all that, don't use your cards. Use cash. And don't use your Save On More cards and not like that, because it tracks you. Right? You need to come together, ask the Lord what you need to get you through, because we're looking at 2 to 3 months here. Right? We need to be wise in the times ahead that we're now in. So just to recap all this, give me a week and I should have this stuff printed off, and I'm making these ARCSHIP designs if you want the designs, all you have to do is text me or email me, contact me through Facebook, and I'll get the designs out to you. And I'm not charging anything for it, because what the Lord gives me is free, and it's meant for the body. And but one thing that you can do right now is press into the Lord, into His rest, learn to intercede, because we don't want to go into fear. And the basic premise of these kingdom camps is to establish a spiritual base, right? Spiritual points of light. It's not just for a place to kick up your heels and things like that. Not just a place just to live off grid. It's a place where God's going to bring forth His end time army, right? And they're going to have to be taught. So I'm just going to leave it here. This is Joshua Taylor, Donald D. Taylor, coming to you from here in Boston Bar, British Columbia, Canada.